On the NCLEX, they're going to give you a 6-second strip. All of the EKG strips on the NCLEX, they're going to be 6 seconds, and they're going to be presented to you in lead 2. Now, when you see this EKG strip, you need to recognize the difference between a small box and a big box, because I will be teaching you some tips and some strategies to help you understand if there is a prolongation in the PR interval, to identify if the rhythm is regular or irregular. And in order to do that, you need to know the difference between a small box and a big box. Now, you're going to listen to this and you're going to put it on hold, because we're not going to use it today. However, we will be using in other days, in other trainings. But let's go through the basics like I told you today. Remember this, a small box, which is basically highlighted in blue, represents in time 0.04 seconds. And a big square, which in a big square there are 5 small boxes, represents in time, in seconds, 0.20 seconds. Why is this important? Because when we talk about the PR interval, the PR interval is between 0.12 and 0.20 seconds. In other words, when we're analyzing the PR interval, it's going to be about 3 to 5 small boxes. When we talk about the QRS complex, which you know that represents ventricular depolarization, the normal QRS duration should be less than or equal to 0.12 seconds, which is about 3 small boxes. Whenever we are interpreting an EKG, for example, if we see a wide QRS complex, meaning it's longer than 0.12 seconds, that indicates that there is something wrong. Either could be a bundle branch block, or maybe there is some kind of ventricular rhythm. So this is why it's super important to understand the difference between small boxes and big boxes on the EKG graph paper. So once again, why is this important? Professor Ray, why is this important? You will be using this in order to interpret an EKG strip. You need to use it in order to identify if you're dealing with a 6-second strip or not. On the NCLEX, thanks God, you will encounter a 6-second strip. So, for example, how do I know if I'm dealing with a 6-second strip? One of the ways to know is by counting the big squares. For example, now you know that this is a big square that has 5 little squares. So how do I know I'm dealing with a 6-second strip? Well, count the big square. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I don't need to count, but there's going to be 15 more. And in a 6-second strip, you will have 30 big squares. That's one way of determining if you're looking at a 6-second strip. Okay? In order to identify an EKG strip correctly, you need to know how to interpret it correctly. And how do you do that? Basically, you need to be able to identify these structures that we have discussed so far. Now, you should be able to know what is going on here. You should be able to know what is going on here. If you don't, do not worry. Do not worry. You will be joining us on our next live where we're going to be discussing the differences between some of these rhythms. Okay, so do not worry. We will do it together during this EKG series. Okay? Now, my next topic is very important for the NCLEX. How many of you know that when there are electrolyte imbalance, you will see or you could see changes on the electrocardiogram? How many of you know that? That a patient with hypokalemia, hyperkalemia, hypomagnesemia, hypermagnesemia will show, you will see on the EKG changes, and that will be a flag or an indicator that there is something wrong, that there is an electrolyte imbalance just by looking at the EKG strips. Well, I want to share with you the most important. There's more, but this is the most important. For example, when we talk about hypokalemia or a low potassium, we can see on the electrocardiogram, we can see ST depression, we can see shallow, flat, or an inverted T wave, and we can even see a prominent U wave. What does this mean, a prominent U wave? What that means is that usually on an electrocardiogram, you're not able to see the U wave. It's very small. But whenever you're able to see the U wave prominent, that usually indicates an electrolyte imbalance. For example, in hyperkalemia, we tend to see tall peak T waves. We can also see flat P wave, a widened QRS complex, and prolongation of the PR interval. In hypocalcemia, low calcium level, we can see prolongation of the ST segment and prolongation of the QT interval. You're going to learn about that later on. In patients that have hypercalcemia, you can see a shortened ST segment, widened T wave, and even heart blocks. In hypomagnesemia, you can see tall T wave, depressed ST segment, and in hypermagnesemia, you can see prolongation of the PR interval and also a widened QRS complex. Now, this you need to know. I promise you, you will see it on the NCLEX. Sometimes they can ask you a question. A patient has XYZ condition and has low levels of calcium in blood or hypocalcemia. What are some clinical symptoms the patient can experience? And they're going to put a bunch of information, and then one of the answers is electrocardiogram changes, or they can put a widened T wave or shortened ST segment. So this is important to know for those kind of questions that are maybe a content style of question, a selector that apply. I promise you, you will see it again.